so much for spending this little time with us. Now that you're coming to the close of your term as a superior general, and that during these last 6 years you have traveled all over the world, to the provinces of the society, all the provinces, the regions, and the missions. What is it the most striking element that you observe in our members in the society?
Yeah, surely most striking is that many of our members are slowly but surely implementing our characteristics. We have asked ourselves for many years who we are as SVDs, what distinguishes us from other religions, and we have decided that there are 4 characteristic dimensions. Striking is that really many of our converts are trying to live that, and also to make these characteristics of their respective ministries, to reach out to people, to engage in transforming the world by addressing justice and peace issues, as well as the concern for the creation. And then that we realize more and more in many provinces and countries where we are working that we do not do things alone, and that we cannot do things alone, but that we do it together with dedicated lay mission partners, which is a blessing for us to have so many lay mission partners who are adapting the same characteristics. Then, of course, at the center of our life is the Word of God, and that is what more and more converts realize, that without a constant search for God Himself in His Word, we cannot do what we do. We need the Word of God as nourishment for what we do. And that spills over to our lay mission partners, who also discover their love for the Word of God.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful, Father Heinz. Tell me, what is the most encouraging aspect of our missionary work?
Yeah, really inspiring for myself is the tremendous commitment of our own sisters, our own confreres, the members of the Arnoldus family, that would include many, many lay mission partners. It's very, very touching, because I realize the huge amount of work that has to be done and that is being done at this point in time is only possible because we work together. And we have a key value that we have discovered, which is that of solidarity, what we practice among each other in our congregation. We practice also with others outside, and that is for me very touching, that many of our members commit to that.
Now that you have shared with us the most encouraging aspect, my next question would be, what is the most difficult challenge that we face today as a religious order, as the society?
At this point in time, it's a big challenge that we are being approached by so many bishops, for example, in need for missionaries in their respective dioceses, that we just cannot accommodate all. I believe at this point in time, as a big challenge for the whole congregation is the work with refugees. So many people have to leave their homes for various reasons, particularly because of wars and ethnic conflicts. We have members prepared for that, but the big challenge really is to do much, much more than that, to take a much, much greater responsibility for those that are suffering under very difficult conditions. That is our challenge, I believe, for the future.
What can we or what should we offer to the church today?
Yeah, it's a unique congregation within the church. It's important to realize that we are not the only ones, that we belong to a church. And this is our contribution. What is unique is our internationality. What we can offer to the church is a dynamic faith that is founded in the Word of God with many different dimensions. An important element is, for example, the face of God. If God created human beings in His own image, if you look at the members of our own congregation, at this chapter alone we do have members that hail from 46 different countries. You realize how rich a face of God that actually is. So what we can offer is surely the internationality, interculturality of our faith, and that it is possible that faith unites people of so many different cultures, makes it possible to live in peace and harmony with all the challenges that involves.
In your presentation, you shared with the whole capitulars, all those who are participating in this general chapter, that compared to the rest of the religious orders in the church, we are the one that is either sustaining or even improving our membership. What do you think is the reason for that wonderful thing that is happening with our society?
This is really true. Many congregations are panicking because they're losing a lot of members, and some congregations are afraid to die. For us, the real blessing was from the beginning. Since the time of our founder, our congregation was always international. Members inspired by our founder and by the mission itself of the Lord came from different nationalities and different cultures, and that is what we are today. Our growth or stability in numbers surely comes from that aspect, namely that we are international, that we are intercultural. If things do not work out in our European zone and in the Panam zone and Central America and North America, it works out very well at this point in time in the ASPAC Asia-Pacific zone as well as in the Africa-Madagascar zone. Many of these missionaries, and that is very interesting, give a witness to their faith not in their respective countries. Many of our missionaries hailing from the Afram zone as well as the ASPAC zone are working in Europe, which is a real blessing for the European Church. It's a kind of window that has been opened. People realize that faith is alive, that faith can give hope and that faith can give meaning to life. By the way, our missionaries live that in Europe. We counted that more than 250 non-European missionaries are working at this point in time in Europe, which is a real blessing for the Church. And I think that is one of our key contributions. Internationality, concretely practiced in day-to-day life and action.
I would like to ask you a question that we did not, in fact, discuss ahead of time. The question is, what was that one moment which was the most difficult? So also, what was that one moment which was the most joyful?
Yeah. Very difficult moments for me always when we lose young converts in accidents, or when we have to step in because our converts have to leave countries because of the outbreak of war and ethnic conflicts, where our converts are being attacked, shot at, and when converts get killed. These are very painful moments for me as a leader as well as for the whole congregation. The most joyful moments, there are many, really many. It's the encounter with converts, with sisters who are doing an extraordinary and heroic work at times under very difficult situations without complaints, because they have managed to fall in love with the people. These are beautiful moments where I realize we are in the right places and we are serving the people, addressing their real needs. That's the blessing, my joy.
Oh, that's wonderful. Nice to hear that. What do you want to now? What do you want to tell the society? So also the church at large.
I think as missionaries we really dedicate our lives to the Lord Himself. What I would like is that we get closer to the Lord once again, feel inspired by His life and by His mission. In a very concrete step, that means to go back to the Sermon on the Mount, to do what He did and to live as He lived. That His life becomes our life again, and that His mission, His concerns become our concerns, particularly the concern that the Lord had for those that are different, that are at the margins, for those that are poor. I believe this is what I would like the congregation to do, to look at. We are on the right track because we are needed wherever we are. The church at large, the message is simple. Don't lose hope and don't lose faith. Perseverance is crucial. This is what we learned from our own founder. Deep faith, simplicity, and perseverance. This will be our contribution to a church that is in some countries in a certain crisis. God is with us, we are convinced about it, and the closer we are staying to the Lord, the more we can be sure of His guidance. To learn to listen to God and to speak with Mother Teresa, to give God a chance to change our lives, to change the church. God bless you.
Thank you. And I'm sure you all enjoyed listening to Father Heinz, our Superior General, who has served the Society of the Divine Word for the last 6 years. Thank you.